to Coach's Corner with Jay, featuring the Noles head coach, Jay Sarcosta, and our host, Lance LaFollette.
For your convenience and peace of mind, AmeriDrive by Stark offers teen driver education in these locations: Woodsfield, St. Clairsville, Wintersville, Martins Ferry, New Philadelphia, Marietta, Harrison Central, and Buckeye Local. 3 weeks of classroom study is held on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings. State licensed and certified by the Ohio Department of Public Safety, AmeriDrive has been teaching teens and adults to drive for 20 years. 8 hours of one-on-one behind-the-wheel instruction is scheduled at convenient times. Call AmeriDrive by Stark at 1-800-YOU-DRIVE-2. New name, same great service. Ormet Credit Union is now Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. Visit us in our new facility in Hannibal, built with more convenient parking and easier drive-through. If you live, work, or attend school in Belmont or Monroe counties, you are eligible for membership in the Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. To serve you better, we also have locations in St. Clairsville and Clarington. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. Community is our middle name.
Good evening and welcome to Coach's Corner. Week 6 is in the books, and what a week it was. The Monroe Central Seminoles went to Magnolia last Friday evening and came away with a 6-0 victory, a hard-fought 6-0 victory, Coach. There were things I'm sure you want to improve on, but that defense really come up and did a job for you.
Well, it sure did, Lance, and it seems like the week in and week out they're doing a super job on defense, and we've been putting a lot of points on the board up until this past week, and points were hard to come by, and we kind of expected that because of the type of defense that Magnolia has. They're very physical, and they bring a lot of people at you, and we knew it would be very difficult moving the ball. And we thought we had a touchdown early on or in the first quarter, and we didn't get that one. We ended up getting one in the second, and we didn't really think that would probably stand up to win the game, but it did because our young men played super defense throughout the entire game and had their backs against the wall late in the game and did an excellent job shutting them down when they had first and goal at our 9-yard line. They didn't allow them in. So anytime you shut somebody out, especially a team at Magnolia's caliber that has a lot of weapons, you're doing something.
Well, the field was, it seemed like it might have been a little bit wet, but the Seminoles, we've had the problem in the last couple of weeks, put the ball on the ground several times, lost a couple, and in bad situations as well.
Well, as far as their field condition is concerned, it's probably the worst I've ever seen their field. Their field is normally in excellent shape, and it just seems as though they haven't really done much in the way of maintenance on their field the last couple of years, and it's now caught up with them. But there wasn't much grass on it. It was soft. It was, level. It wasn't rough, but it was, not much grass, especially in the middle. So wasn't the greatest of field, but that wasn't really any excuse or any reason for our putting the ball on the ground. They had the same field conditions. We just didn't hold on to the ball. And as I mentioned to you a couple times earlier, that's one thing that's going to end up costing us a football game if we don't take care of the ball. We put the ball on the ground 6 times, fumbled 6 times. Fortunately, we only lost it twice, and that's twice too many. But we're going to have to do a lot better job of taking care of the ball. And also, we did have a couple inopportune penalties, and we're going to have to do a little better in that category too if we're going to get the job done in the future. Again, we talked about committing those kind of mistakes against good football teams. It doesn't help you.
Well, we got the ball back after the final stand down. I believe it was around the 17-yard line after a fumble recovery, 5 minutes to go in the game. Seminoles are able to run the clock out. I stand around people that wonder, boy, we should have done that whole game. How can you explain moving it so well?
Well, you really can't explain that, Lance. That's just like a team coming out and not moving the ball the first half and then move the ball the second half, or vice versa, moving the ball in the first half and then not being able to move it in the second half. You really can't explain that. The fact is we did come up and start moving the ball when we had to in that last 5 minutes, and something we needed to control the ball and not give it back to them to put our defense in another pressure situation to have to try to keep them out of the end zone. And we did just that. We had one nice run out of the deep in our own territory, and we had a penalty. It was called back, and then we kept the ball moving. And Aaron Brown did an excellent job, and our offensive line picked up some blocking schemes a little better in that last drive, and we were able to move the ball out and control the ball. And I thought Josh did a nice job of using the clock. It was kind of nice to have a 25-second clock. You don't have that luxury week in and week out. because they're one of the few teams, in fact, the only team around here that has a 25-second clock. But that was a great opportunity, a great time to have access to the 25-second clock, because it allowed Josh to watch and snap the ball at the very last second and use up as much time on that clock as we could.
Okay. Well, as we said, a huge victory. Before we go to the highlights of the victory, we're going to take some guests on, so we're going to take a break here and come back with number 75, Trevor Hendershot, right after this.
McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell strongly believe in supporting our kids, both in school and in extracurricular activities. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. They're happy to support our players, our cheerleaders, and our band. After the game, celebrate at McDonald's of Woodsfield, where we love to make you smile. For over 100 years, Bauer Turner Furniture has been serving our community with quality furniture and bedding. After a big day, kick back and relax in a dual recliner sofa, or choose from living room suites featuring couches with comfy armchairs or matching recliners. Then pick the lamp to suit your personality. Of course, they stock bedroom furniture to please the country, traditional, or contemporary decorator. Kitchen tables and chairs, hutches, entertainment centers, and more can be delivered to your home this week. So stop by Bauer Turner Furniture today.
We're back with number 75, Trevor Hendershot, a two-way lineman for the Seminoles, also part-time running back on the scout team, he told me before the break there. Trevor, offense, defense, the game situation, it's mostly lineman, I would guess.
Yeah,
Do you have a preference as far as which side of the ball you get to?
I like playing defense probably the best, but, you know, offense is fun too.
We had Travis Williams, and you're sort of in the same situation as you're not a full-time or regular starter, but there's times where you get your name called and you got to be ready. What type of preparation does it take?
Well, you have to prepare like you prepare for any game, even if you were a starter. You have to work hard during practice with everybody else and get the rest of the team ready to go.
Okay. You mentioned you even played some running back in scout team. How'd that go?
Not too well. Coach Pat runs with the lineman. He runs quarterback, and he can't pitch the ball too well, so it didn't work out very good.
Coach, another good kid, a lot of fun to be around, and gotta enjoy having Trevor around.
Well, Trevor is an outstanding young man, Lance, and we're tickled to death to have a young man of his caliber in the program. And as you mentioned, Trevor is not a starter on offense or defense. He's on our extra point team. He's been seeing a lot of action there because we've been scoring a good bit up until last week, and so he's seen a lot of action there. And Trevor's, again, a guy that plays an important role. He works during the week, which a lot of people don't see, as far as on scout offense and scout defense, to give our offense and defense a look that we need to have as far as our opponents are concerned. And the thing about, he's like a lot of the other kids, you don't hear anything from him. He just goes out day in and day out and does his job. And, a lot of times young men that aren't getting to play are unhappy, and I'm sure he'd like to play and like to play more, but he understands the situation and he gives everything he has, and for that, I take my hat off to Trevor, and he's, like I say, he's a young man with a great attitude and never causes any problems. He just, does what you ask him to do, and that's the kind of guy you like to have around. So, he's been an important part of our program, even though he hasn't been a starter for this now 4 years.
Okay. Well, Trev, senior year, 6-0 after 6 games. Can't do any better than that. Big toughie coming up Friday night, so have them ready.
All right, thanks.
We're going to take a quick break and come back with number 85, Dan Miller, right after this.
No matter what the weather is, you can work out year-round at Transforming Physiques. For your convenience, new owner Kristen Rossiter has extended the hours. Students have the opportunity to work out before school, after school, or on Saturdays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, come out at 6 a.m. and get your exercise in before going to work. Adult, student, and family memberships are available. They now have 2 tanning beds and stock the best of tanning supplies. Stop out to see a large variety of sports drinks, diet bars, supplements, vitamins, and sports attire. Now is the time to start transforming your physique.
We're back now with number 85, Dan Miller, two-way end for the Seminoles, the senior. Dan, first off, about the Magnolia game last week, Did you ever expect that we would be able to shut them out completely?
I don't know if we expected to shut them out, but our defense is good, and we expect to slow people down, and we figure if our offense can get in the end zone a couple times, we should win.
This week we have Shenandoah coming up who, likes to throw the ball, likes to run the ball. They try to power people. What do you feel personally the keys are this week to having a successful night defensively?
I feel we can shut them down on defense. They haven't scored on our defense yet in high school, and been telling the guys that, and just take a lot of pride in our defense and get it done.
Last year it seemed like you were getting all the catches in that sibling rivalry thing we have going here at Monroe Central. This year seems like Sam's getting the call more often. Is he rubbing that in any?
Oh, he tries, but I don't really care, as long as we get the job done.
That's a team player right there, Coach. Dan, real aggressive from that defensive end and a lot of fun to watch.
Well, Dan made a lot of big plays for us last year. Defensive end started to get comfortable with that position, Lance, and as the season progressed and into the playoffs, he made a lot of real big plays, and he's done the same thing again this year. And he's going to have a very, very, very important role this week against Shenandoah because they like the bootleg action, and after they run at you, they'll play action, they'll bootleg, and our ends have got to make sure that they don't get outside. If you remember a couple of years ago, we did a pretty good job all night long, but toward the end of the game, we allowed Shenandoah to roll outside, and they found a receiver and completed a pass and got down close to the goal line, scored, beat us with about 30 seconds to go. So we can't allow that to happen. Our defensive ends will have to have a good game. Dan will have to come up with some big plays, and I'm sure he's capable of doing that. On the offensive side of the ball, we talked before about our tight ends, which Dan and Sam are the tight ends of our offense. They do an outstanding job, and they're called upon to block first and catch passes second. So I know both Dan and Sam would like any end or any receiver like to catch as many balls as they possibly can. But in our offense, we've got to run the ball first, and we've got to have our tight ends block, and they've done a real nice job of that. And so you see them in there when we run the ball with double tights. You don't see them in there split out as much, but that doesn't mean they can't catch the ball. They can catch the ball, but both of them are playing key roles on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
Okay, Dan, nice job so far, 6-0, and the biggest game of the year. It's going to be this way the rest of the way out, so keep up the good work and good luck.
All right, thanks.
We're going to take one more break and come back with number 86, Kenny Robinson, right after this.
FW Shoemaker Insurance Agency celebrating 100 years of service to our community. FW Shoemaker is an independent agency representing many reputable companies for all of your insurance needs. Only the most professional agencies represent Westfield Insurance. The best of the best are recognized as Westfield Platinum agencies, and FW Shoemaker is proud to be a Platinum agency. FW Shoemaker Insurance and the Monroe Central Seminoles, two winning traditions.
We're back with number 86, Kenny Robinson, starting split end on offense and a cornerback on defense for the Seminoles. Kenny, first off, a huge play there in the fourth quarter with Magnolia forced down and goal from the 9-yard line. Take us back to that final play. You were able to step in front of the receiver and knock the ball down. What were you thinking?
They had Ted Talkington split out real wide, so I thought that either they're going to run a slant or a post corner route. But I read the quarterback and saw he was going to do a slant, so I just picked that up and went for the ball.
Did a nice job. I know it fired everybody up. Another shutout for the defense with that one.
Yeah, it really helped.
Offensively, actually caught the only touchdown for the Seminoles, a pass from Josh Issue. Tell us what that play was and what you did.
That was a rip flood we ran, and lately we've been running it a lot, and we've been throwing our tight end, Sam Miller. And I think maybe they were reading on that and the safety shaded over. So I beat my corner on a post pattern, and Josh did a good job just throwing it up and letting me go up and catching it.
Okay. Would that be your favorite play, or do you have a specific favorite play?
I sort of like the fade patterns myself because it gives me a chance to go one-on-one with the receiver, and all Josh has to do is really throw it up there, and I try to make the grab.
I get to see you a lot during track season, and I know a lot of times on Friday nights before the games, Any pregame rituals that you have?
Yeah, I usually go to the Follett house, and Lance usually does a good job of fixing chicken out on the grill, and Angie picks some of the best sugar cookies I've ever had.
You know what's going to happen? I keep plugging for all this publicity, and I'm going to end up with a whole driveway full. But it's always fun having Kenny around, Coach. You know, Dan, spend a lot of time with him. These guys, great bunch of guys.
Well, you know, Kenny's another great individual, along with being an excellent athlete. And we sure, you know, were tickled to death when he came into the football program. And he has matured, you know, just leaps and bounds since he first came aboard and started playing football. He's made some big plays for us. He's playing a little different role on the defensive side of the ball this year. Last year he really didn't play defense, but this year he's playing defense. We had to move Gabe Gordon, as we talked about earlier, from a corner to an inside linebacker, so we were in need of a corner. And I felt Kenny could do the job there. I told Coach Sherman I felt he would do an outstanding job, and he's done just that. He's starting to feel a little more comfortable back there now. You know, we started out with two teams that threw the ball, Buckeye Trail in game number 1, Shadyside in game number 2, and that gave him good experience, and he's just gotten better each week, and he's doing a real nice job. In this past week, as you said, he made a tremendously big play for us down there when they were knocking on the door and looked like they were going in, and they go to Ted Talkington in those situations, and he was one-on-one with him. He did an outstanding job breaking that pass up, as did Dan when they got the ball back. He put a hit on their quarterback and knocked the ball loose and caused a big fumble that enabled us to, you know, kind of run the clock out in that last 5 minutes and 20 seconds. But on the offensive side of the ball, Kenny's done a fine job catching the ball. He's made some big plays for us. He's our leading receiver, and hopefully he can continue to make those big plays. We need a couple of them this week, and he just has a lot of talent, a lot of ability, but like I say, one of his biggest assets is he's an outstanding young man, a fine young man, and we're just tickled to death to have him in the program.
Okay. Well, Kenny, keep up the good work. Get us another win. This is the biggest one yet, so we'll be saying that all along now.
All right.
We're going to take a quick break and come back and look at some highlights right after this.
Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank, where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-through and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community.
Go Noles!
Highlights start tonight with the Seminoles gaining good field position on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, kind of a low line drive kickoff, and Brownie does a good job of scooping it up. He comes up the middle, and then he'll break it off to the outside. Right there, he makes a nice move, switches the ball in the left arm, and gets a great, excellent return and gets us in good field position. Excellent tackle there by number 32, Ted Talkington.
Number 25 and number 72, Ferguson and 80 on the stop for the Seminoles.
Well, we talked about their quarterback, number 10, Jonathan Kemp, like to run, roll the right or left and throw the ball. Here he'll start to roll his left, and we get good pressure from 72, Sean 80, and number 25, Ryan Ferguson, and big defensive play on the first play of the game offensively for them.
Here, Dan Miller, one of our guests, makes a big stop in the backfield with the help of Gabe Gordon.
Well, Blue Eagles lined up in a shotgun formation. Again, he tries to roll to this side, and great pressure put on by number 85 on our show tonight, Dan Miller, and number 44, Gabe Gordon, make a super defensive play.
Kicking game still playing an important part. This time Aaron Brown gets the Seminoles back in good field position.
Well, Aaron started the game off with a nice kickoff return. Now he does a nice job on a punt return, puts us in great field position at about the 30-yard line.
Josh Ishii completes the pass to Gabe Gordon.
Well, we throw one short pass to Gabe out in the flat, and here you'll see Josh roll to his right, find Gabe underneath, and hit him with one underneath. Nice completion there.
Josh Ishii hooks up Kenny Robinson to put the ball down at the 5.
They see Josh do an excellent job here. He's got a little pressure, but he stands right or drops straight back, steps up in the pocket. Somebody's grabbing a hold of him. He finds Kenny and throws the ball into Kenny, and Kenny makes a nice catch at about the 6.
Can't see the end of this highlight, Coach, but the Seminoles are knocking at the door here before they lose the ball.
Now here we run a quick toss to the left side, and as you say, you can't see the end. but Aaron gets awful close here. He thought he had the ball over the goal line. What happened here is they ruled a fumble. The ball went out of the end zone. When that happens, then the defense, takes over and gets the ball. It's considered a touchback, and they get the ball at the 20-yard line.
Here, Josh Ishii scrambles to get away and then throws the completion to Gabe Gordon.
A lot of pressure on Josh here, and he scrambles out of the pocket to the right. Throws a kind of a dangerous pass right here with some people inside, but Gabe does catch the ball and picks up the first down.
Number 11, Josh Ishii, this time using his feet to put the Seminoles back on the other side of the field.
Well, this is kind of big play Josh could make right here. You see him do an excellent job of running here and getting his blockers in line, and takes it up for a tremendous gain here and putting us in good field position across the 30-yard line.
Josh Ishii hooks up with Kenny Robinson for the game's only touchdown.
Well, here both Josh and Kenny do an excellent job. This is a flood route. Actually, Kenny's the third receiver here. We got Gabe in the flat, the ball we completed to him earlier. Right here you see Gabe going to flat. We got Sam Miller deep, and we got Kenny running a post route on the backside, and he finds Kenny open and sticks the ball in there, and Kenny did an excellent job concentrating on the ball and hanging on for the touchdown, which stood up to be the winning and only touchdown.
Dan Miller first, and then Sam Miller get to the quarterback of Magnolia.
Nice defensive play here by both Dan and Sam, both of them putting great pressure on, and Kemp trying to roll to his right has nowhere to go, and big loss.
The punting game played a major role the other night. Here David Spielman gets off another good one.
David did an excellent job for us here, a nice punt about 40-yarder, pins them deep, and we got good coverage. We get down and we get them inside the 25-yard line, which is great field position. So an excellent job by David all night long, punting for almost a 40-yard average.
Don't normally see a lot of punts on highlights, Coach, but this was a major key.
Another key punt by David Spielman, punting out of his own end zone, kicks the ball across the 50-yard line, and we limit them to their return, and so we get ourselves out of a big hole.
Josh Ishii has a nice punt return here.
Yeah, here Talkington also did a nice job punting, and here Josh reverses his field, starts to the left, goes back to the right, picks up nice yardage here, and gets us in pretty good shape as far as the offense is concerned.
Number 85, Dan Miller, knocks down a pass here deep in our own territory.
Yeah, from his defensive end position, you'll see Dan jump up, and this is where it pays to get your hands up, and he deflects the pass and does an excellent job there.
There were several key defensive plays, but this one was really big.
This was really, really big, Lance. Big play by Kenny Robinson on our show tonight. From his secondary position, they try to throw a slant into Talkington for the touchdown, and Kenny makes a great break there and breaks that play up. Key play in winning this football game.
This play was called back, but quite an effort by Aaron Brown.
Yeah, we're showing here, we get called for a hold, but Brownie does a nice job breaking this thing to the outside, puts a nice move on right here, takes it down the sideline. And you'll see when we show this in slow motion, you'll see an excellent block by Dan Miller coming back and picking up one of the Eagle defenders.
Dan Miller on the pass rush here, causing a fumble by Magnolia.
Yeah, big play defensively here. They're knocking on the door again, and they go to throw the ball, and Dan comes in, backside, blindside pressure, and takes the ball right off of Kemp's hand. And he did have his arm going forward, but that was after the ball was stripped, and it's our ball going the other way.
Aaron Brown bounces out off the right side and picks up a big first down.
Now right here your primary concern is hold on to the ball, get first downs, and run that clock, and here's exactly what we did. Brownie bounced it outside, picked up a big first down, held on to the ball, and we're moving the chains.
The final highlight is Aaron Brown again, this time picking up a first down to allow us to run the clock out.
Now we're in a wing right eye formation, running ISO off the left side, and Brownie does an excellent job fighting for every inch and every yard, and that puts the capper on it, picks up a first down, and we run the clock out and take home a 6-0 victory.
It's time now for my Citizens National Bank Play of the Week.
Monroe Central in the rip formation. Ishii back pass, across the middle. He finds Robinson, he gives him a touchdown!
4th and 10. 4th and goal from the 10. Monroe Central still leading this ball game 6-0. Yeah! Almost intercepted. Tell you what, Kenny's been there all night. He's there once again.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We'll be right back to take a look at this week's opponent, the Shenandoah Zeps.
Hi, I'm Bill Reesbeck. You heard me talk many times about how we offer you the best variety at the best possible price every day. And we do it with no cards, no gimmicks, no hassle. Just like you, we're working to get the most we can for the money we spend. So if these things are important to you, come home to Reesbeck's. We'll even add customer service as we continue what Grandma started over 70 years ago.
This week's opponent, 6-0, Shenandoah Zeps. Really not a lot we can say, Coach, that hasn't already been covered in the news or in the media this week. Shenandoah, you know, they're big, they're fast, they can throw, they can run. You're going to have your work cut out for you.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Lance. They're a strong, solid football team in all departments. You look at them offensively, they've got runners. You know, when one guy gets tired, they'll put somebody else in. He gets tired, they'll put somebody else in. They got a quarterback that can run. They got a quarterback that can throw. They got a solid, big offensive line. They seem like they can do just about anything offensively, and they've been racking up a lot of points. Defensively, they're also solid. They're very strong up front. They're big. They've got a lot of speed. They've got a lot of outstanding football players that have been playing for 2 and 3 years. And so they've got just about everything that you'd want in a football team. And I think there's no doubt that this is probably, without a doubt, the best Shenandoah football team in the history of that school.
Well, you talk about racking up a lot of points, and one thing that you've come to find out over the years of being a fan or being a coach is that you can quit comparing scores because it doesn't always mean anything. But they piled up 55 on Magnolia, and I know people say, "Wow, you know, how are we going to stop them when you know it's going to be a big test for us?"
Well, it is going to be a test, but you can't compare scores. Anybody that knows anything about the game, you can't say this team beat this team by so many, and then this team beat this team by only this many points, and so they're that much better than they are. Now, you can't do that because there's so many different variables and factors involved there from week to week. You know, you might have a ball club that might have a key player out that week that they played the one team, and then he's back when they play the other team, and there's a lot of different things that go into that. So you really can't compare scores. You know, some teams will start to mature a little later, like they played Magnolia, and not to take anything away from Shenandoah, because as I said, they're an outstanding football team. But I also think Magnolia's a pretty good football team, and if you watch that tape, there were some things happen, and I think they caught them early, and Magnolia, that was their second game, and I don't think that was any indication of really the type of football team that they are. Now, if they play 10 times, Shenandoah may beat them 10 times, but I still think that score 55-20 is not indicative of the type of team that Magnolia is. But looking at the scores of the games that they've had thus far, as you said, they piled up a lot of points. They opened the season with a win over Ridgewood, who is at the present time 4-2. They defeated them 33-6. Game number 2, they defeated Union Local 35-7. Union Local is 1-5 at the present time. Then the following week they did play Magnolia. They went to Magnolia went to Shenandoah, and they defeated Magnolia 55-20. And Magnolia, as we know, is 3-2 right now. The next game of the year was against Crooksville, and that was their toughest game to date. They defeated Crooksville 14-6 after being down 6-0. Crooksville took the opening kickoff and drove the ball down, put it in the end zone, and they were up 6-0. Then Shenandoah came back, tacked on a couple touchdowns, and then they stopped. Crooksville had a couple other scoring opportunities and didn't make good on them. Crooksville is 4-2. They're a team that's in our region, and they are also still in the hunt to be in the playoffs. It's a team that we played a couple years ago at Meadowbrook. Next game, Frontier went to Shenandoah, and Shenandoah defeated Frontier, which we know is an excellent football team, 5-1 at the present time. They defeated them 41-13. Again, Frontier moved the ball against Shenandoah and the beginning of the game especially, but then Shenandoah came in and made the big plays and turned them away. And then this past week, Shenandoah defeated Buckeye Trail 45-0, 2-4 at the present time, but Trail's had a tough schedule, and I think Trail will probably win out in their schedule and probably end up maybe 6-4 for a good year. But just like Buckeye Trail, we played them in game 1. We defeated them 25-0. Shenandoah beat them in this past week 45-0. You can't really compare those scores because you're talking about a team that you're playing at the beginning of the year, a team right at the present time after 6 games, and there's a lot of things that are different. To date, they've scored 223 points. They're averaging 37.1 points on offense per game, which is a pretty good output as far as points are concerned. Defensively, they've allowed 52, and that's 8.6 average per game. As far as their rushing is concerned, they've rushed for over 1,000 yards. They're averaging about 185 yards rushing per game. Passing, 658, averaging about 109 per game, so they're pretty balanced. A little more on the rush end, that's what they like to do more than anything else. Totally, they're averaging almost just shy of 300 yards per game, so they're moving the football extremely well. As far as their opponents are concerned, they're giving up about 143 yards rushing per game, and passing they're giving up about 79, so a total average of about 223 yards as far as their opponents are concerned per game. So you can see they're very potent on offense, very stingy on defense, and that's going to present a problem for us on both sides.
Okay. I did have a chance to watch the Frontier game over at Shenandoah, and one thing that I noticed is you listen to the PA announcer, the names that they mentioned, there's a lot of guys that's been there for a long time playing several seniors on that team. Can you take us down through to some of the people we can expect to see?
Well, they do have several seniors, and I might add good leaders on this team. They have 7 seniors that start on offense, 4 juniors, and across the front wall, they start with a junior at center, Matt Bonilla. He's 5'10", 190, number 55. He's the smallest of their offensive linemen. Their guards, Brandon Bates, 5'10", 235, a senior, number 73. At the other guard, a senior, Adam Lee, 5'11", 225, number 66. They've got bookend tackles. When I say bookend, they're big bookends. Lucas Michael is 6 foot 305, a junior, 61 at one tackle. The other tackle, Tad Ayers, 6'3", 305, a senior, number 75, did not play last week. He was in the hospital, and he had a case of viral meningitis, as I understand, and it's not known whether he'll play this week or not. Of course, we hope that he is okay. We hate to see any young man miss out, especially when a team is having a good year like they're having. At the tight end, actually you'll see him in a double tight a lot. Cody Miley is one tight end. He's a senior, 6'2", 205, number 15. At the other tight end, you'll see either Nathan Hedge, 6'2", 200, and or Jamie Smith, 5'11", 190. Those two guys will alternate. You also see number 41, Cody Leach, line up at a tight end. When they go to a one-back set, when Roman Barnett's the only running back in the backfield, or when Corey Brown's the only running back in the backfield, you'll see number 41 line up at that tight end, and they'll throw the ball to him, but he's also an excellent blocker. Keith Sealock is their quarterback, number 5. He's a senior. He's been around for a long time, 6 foot 175. And Cody Leach, we said, is their fullback. He's 5'10", 220, a senior. And Roman Barnett is their go-to guy on offense as far as the running game is concerned. He has the bulk of the carries. He's a senior, 6 foot 200 pounds, number 33, and he's probably about as hard as tough as any running back there is in the valley. He likes to run right at you, and that's exactly what they try to do with those big linemen. Barnett has 607 yards rushing in 6 games, so just a little over 100-yard average per game. Leach has a couple TDs as far as receiving is concerned. Passing the ball, Sealock is 32 32 rushes for 174 yards and 29 average per game. Passing, he's 28 of 51, 527 yards, averaging about almost 90 yards per game. He only has thrown one interception the entire year. They're big guys as far as the receiving is concerned. Cody Miley, number 15, has 9 catches for 222 yards and a touchdown. Zirkle, who has great speed. I might add he's also very, very dangerous on kick returns. He returned a punt for a touchdown last week. He's a junior, 5'10", 170, number 6, and he has 6 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Nathan Hedge is a big guy, 6'2", 200. He's an excellent receiver, number 19. He has 7 catches, 167 yards. He also has 2 touchdowns. So as you can see, they've got big people up front. They got an outstanding running game. They got a passing game that can be very, very effective. So it's going to put our defense to probably its toughest test of the year.
Well, when you look at now from their defensive standpoint, it's going to be another tough test there because I'm sure a lot of the guys, 6'3", 300-pounders, we're going to be running against them when we have the ball.
It's going to be tough to move the ball, Lance, and their strength is probably our strength. Their strength is against the rush, and that's basically what we like to do, establish a running game. We're going to have to throw the ball a little bit, and hopefully we can hit a few of those passes to kind of loosen them up a little bit. And we're going to have to establish some sort of running game. I don't know exactly, what we're going to do yet, but, we're going to work on trying to exploit some of the things that we think are there. And but they're big up front, and they do an excellent job. Michael and Lee are the inside down tackles. Bates and Barnett are their defensive ends. Hedge and Miley are their outside linebackers. And Corey Brown and Daniel Kunkel are the inside linebackers. And Daly, Zirkle, and Sealock are in the secondary. And these guys do an excellent job. One thing I probably think is one of the strengths of this football team, Shenandoah, is the fact that they've got a lot of, and probably because they got a lot of guys that have been around with a lot of experience, is they got a lot of big play players. It seems as though they take turns making big plays. You mentioned that you were at the Frontier game, and Frontier took the ball, moved the ball right down. They got inside the red zone, got down to maybe the 5-10-yard line, and all of a sudden, boom, somebody comes off the corner, makes a big play, throws somebody for a 5 or 10-yard loss. Boom, somebody comes off the other corner, throws somebody for a loss. They've done that week in and week out. That's a sign of a good football team, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about people stepping up and making big plays. But as far as keys to win, we have to do a good job against the run. Try to force them to pass, and when they do pass, we're going to need to pick a couple off if we're going to be successful. But they like to line up, and they like to run the ball right at you, especially with Barnett. When he gets tired, they'll put Brown in, let him run for a while until he gets rested up, and then they'll put Barnett back in. We have to be able to kind of slow the run down. We're not going to totally stop them, there's no way, but we're going to have to slow them down and then be on our toes for the pass, especially the play action, bootleg pass. As far as defense is concerned, as I say, we're going to have to try to get some sort of a ground game going, and then we're going to have to try to mix things up a little bit and complete a few passes.
Okay. Week 6 in the books. This is week 7. It's time to start talking about points and championships and playoffs and such. We talked last week. It's not the end of the season if you lose a game, but boy, this would go a long ways with a victory as far as pushing us on to that postseason.
Well, you're right. That's a good point you make, Lance, and the fact that somebody's going to win this game, somebody's going to lose. The team that wins is going to gather a lot of points. They're going to gather a lot of momentum. It's going to be a big boost for them, and they're going to have the upper hand as far as the OVAC championship, the PVC championship, and as far as the computer rating or standings are concerned. The team that loses this ball game, it's not the end of the world, and it's not the end of the season. That team still has an opportunity to get into playoffs, which is the bottom line, but they got to continue to win out if they're going to do that because our region is really tough. So it's going to be a big lift for the team that wins. The team that loses is going to have to come back and regroup and get ready to play the next week. And we talked back, after week 5, we said the toughest part of our schedule was yet to come. And we don't have an easy one next week. We don't have an easy one the following week. We don't have an easy one the following week. We're going to have to continue to play no matter who it is. So our young men, I'm sure, are going to go out and they're going to give everything they have. I was extremely proud of them the way they played last week, and hopefully we can eliminate some of those mistakes and get things together and score a few more points and play solid defense, and these kids will give it a good shot.
Okay, well, let's talk health-wise. We got Stephen Habig back last week, got to play a good bit both sides of the ball. Dimmerling still not back last week, and Ishii was a little banged up, and noticed Aaron Brown got banged up a little bit. How do things look health-wise this week?
Well, health-wise, we should have everybody back, Lance. As far as 100%, I wouldn't say everybody at 100%. Stephen Habig, I think, is back at 100%. He's moving real well in practice. Josh was banged up, as you said, a little bit sore. I think he should be better with another week, basically rest, although he did take a few hits there the other night. You mentioned Aaron Brown went down with a knee injury there. We had to take him out a few plays. He's going to be a little sore, but I know Aaron's tough, and he'll give it everything he has. Robbie Dimmerling did get the okay from the doctor to play, and he did get fitted up for a brace, and it's going to take him a few days to get used to that thing, but hopefully he's able to go. So basically we're going to have everybody back in there. Again, maybe not 100%, but it's nice to have everybody back.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have a big game like this on the home field. So we'll be back. We're going to tell you what all's going on, and everyone knows what they need to do. Get out here and make some noise. But hang on, we'll be right back.
From a deck to a complete house, Woodsfield True Value has the lumber and building materials for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. Before you go out of town, bring your plans into Troy and Mike for a free estimate. We think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Delivery is available for your project materials, too. From lumber and siding to shingles, windows, insulation, and cabinets, Woodsfield True Value is your source for building materials and building packages. So give Troy or Mike a call today at Woodsfield True Value.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
When it comes to the regular maintenance of your Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury, come to the service department at Doane Ford. From oil changes and brake work to alignments and major repairs, the service department at Doane's has state-of-the-art equipment and factory-trained technicians to keep you on the road. And for all types of body work, remember, Doane Ford's Collision Center is a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Last week's winners on the football Seminole sideliner board. The first quarter went to former player years coach Jesse Nippert. Second, third, and fourth quarter went to Joe's Girls, which I'm sure you go to Hoff's, everyone knows who Joe's Girls are. Pre-sale tickets for tomorrow night's game are at Hoff's Marathon. Also, you can pick those up during the day tomorrow at either of the elementary schools, Skyview or Woodsfield, and also at Swiss Hills at the office. Coach, 200 clubs still available. We've got about a little over a month to go before the early bird. I believe we have 60 people so far that have sent in and signed up for that, so about 30% of the way. Football moms have a couple things going on this week. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, first of all, about the 200 Club, Lance, we encourage those people that did get their mailings that were in last year to renew their membership in the 200 Club. We would appreciate that greatly. As we mentioned before, that's a key to doing a lot of things that we do for the football program and the young men that are in it. We mentioned this before, if you're not a member or you haven't been a member in the past and you'd like to join, just give me a call or give one of the sideliners a call, and we'd be glad to get you into that, and we'd like to get those memberships renewed as quickly as possible. We did mention the fact that if you get in early, and I believe the drawing for the early bird special, which is a new TV, that you have an opportunity to win that if you get in early, and I think that's the third Thursday of November. If you're in by that time, you have a shot. So anybody that's interested, please let us know. As far as the football moms are concerned, the football moms are having their annual home store, which is a very nice event. They have some beautiful homes that'll be on display on that home store. There was a nice article in the Times-Leader this past Sunday advertising that. That will take place this coming Sunday. And also in conjunction with that, something they're doing a little different is they're having a pancake breakfast. And I believe that runs from 9 to 1, and that's going to be held at St. Sylvester's grade school. So anyone that wants to go out for breakfast on Sunday can go out for breakfast, go to church and go out for breakfast, and then go on the home store. If you're interested in going on the home store, just contact any of the football moms, and I think they will have probably tickets on sale that day if you're interested in going. So in order to make that a success, we'd like everyone to be a part of that. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay. WBNB Radio, Dave Davidson and Jeff Stevens will make the call. That's 93.5, so if you want to bring your Walkman along and listen there, you can. Coach, every game's a big one, but this week here, this is another season.
Well, it's a big one. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere, Lance. There's going to be a lot of people here. This particular weekend, River doesn't play on Friday. They play Saturday at Bridgeport, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people down on Riverfront come out. Bellsville goes to Fort Fry. That's a long trip. We know maybe some of those people want to get as far as Woodsfield. There's going to be a ton of people come from Shenandoah. We've got the best following around, whether we're at home, whether we're on the road. We have a tremendous following, and so we'll have a big crowd, and I'm sure there'll be people all over the valley, and maybe, in fact, some people throughout the state will want to come, and they just like to go to what they consider to be a good game. They'll come to Woodsfield Friday night and watch this game, and I think you'll see a tremendous crowd if we get a nice night weather-wise. But it's going to be a playoff atmosphere, and that's good for both teams because both teams having an opportunity to be in postseason play. It's good to play in front of a big crowd because that's usually the case when you get in the playoffs. So it'll be a good experience for both teams, and hopefully both teams can treat the fans to an excellent football game.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, Coach, and to the team. Bring us another one.
Thanks,
now.
Lance.
We'll see you all tomorrow evening. Good night.